What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to an extra special episode of the What the Fanboy Show.
Extra special.
What
makes this one extra
we're talking
special?
about Lord of the Rings things.
Stuff did give us cookies, though.
Yes.
Bingo.
Chocolate chip cookies, fresh chocolate chip, hot, melts in your mouth, burn your fingertips, chocolate chip cookies.
Mine melted in my hand.
I ate mine in one bite.
Mine fell apart. But it was delicious.
I do regret not having the video stream happening for Luke's one bite, but unfortunately, you'll have to use your imagination. But yeah, here in a bit, we'll talk a lot about the Rings of Power, and that's pretty exciting to me. I'm very hyped. As are these guys. We've been talking about it nonstop for like 20 minutes.
We have.
Here before the show starts, so
the pre-show show that nobody gets to watch.
Yeah, it's just for us. But anyways, how was your guys' week?
It's good.
That's
It was really good.
What'd you do?
Well, I played Destiny for most of the weekdays. But this weekend I was super busy. I had family in town. Lots of the extended family. A while back, my grandmother passed away, and we had the memorial service this weekend.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I learned a lot of things about my grandma, too. My dad told a story about how she learned how to learn BASIC on the computer, which I did not know, which I was extremely impressed by.
Yeah.
But it was a really good weekend, especially getting to see the extended family. It was good, and I'm a little tired. I golfed yesterday.
You golfed?
Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome.
Walked 3 miles.
What
that's my workout for the
18 or
year.
9?
It was Hillsboro, so.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you like
That's right,
golfing?
Yes.
Are you good at it?
No.
You're not terrible at it, though, either.
I'm average, I guess.
See,
It was the first time I've played in like 2 years, and I thought I did
golf?
okay.
No.
Oh, I was going to say, dude, we needed a golf outing. Luke and I have played golf several times.
I golf once every 5 or 6 years with like my dad and sister and
Do we need to make a fanboy golf outing?
Sure, I'd go. I'll be awful.
Just bring a cooler beer. It'll be good.
It's not actually true.
White Claws.
Golf is one of those things where I don't enjoy it, but I'm not that bad at it either. For only playing once every 10 years.
I haven't played since my shoulder surgery. I've hit golf balls. Like, I went out to a driving range, but I've not played.
Yeah, I played for the first time in like 2 years. I thought I actually did. I was pretty impressed with myself, actually. It was fun, though. We're all just kind of making fun of each other. It's great. My dad won.
Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Let's just get this out of the way. We feel great about returning to Middle Earth. Hell yes, we do.
Yes.
I certainly do.
Yes. I do as well. So, very hyped.
Besides that, what else did I do? I feel like I did something else, and I can't remember what it was.
We had a golf segment there.
Welcome to What the Golf Boy. I guess I played Destiny with Tyler. That was fun.
I did play some Destiny.
Me and Lucky got to take you through the Grasp of Avarice dungeon.
And watch me die over and
over
again.
Which is one of the funnest things to do with somebody who hasn't done it.
Yeah.
It was hilarious just watching you set off traps and die every couple seconds.
Yeah, it was fun for me too.
I was not there, but I did get to listen in, and Lepke was dying of laughing.
Dude, I thought Lepke was actually like going to die. He like mid dungeon like, dude, I'm getting a nosebleed from laughing so hard. And I was like, what? Like, dude, no. No, it was fun though. I had a good time doing that.
Yep.
Is that all you did? Got anything else you want to add?
I don't.
More D&D.
Oh yeah, we played D&D.
Yeah, another session.
Still alive.
Yeah.
None of us have died yet, which is good.
It was a nice, we beat our first monster at the end of the last session, so this was kind of a nice recoup and.
I feel like we might be in for it on the next one.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the map got pulled up and I was like, oh boy. It's like, I don't know about this tonight. It was like already 11. I was like, oh, maybe not. But no, it was fun.
Yeah, indeed. JT, I don't know why we're not Bungie friends. You should definitely...
Bungie friends.
You should send us in.
I've still not sent my Bungie friend code to anybody because I don't think about it when I get on. I need to do that.
Well, to be fair, you've only started playing Destiny.
I think I played like
a week ago.
two sessions since I've been back on.
Well, I also played Destiny this week. I played with someone here in the chat, Easton, a little bit as we kind of march our way towards playing King's Fall. It was a lot of fun, and playing with these guys, of course, is always great. So, loving where Destiny's at right now. Feels good having all of the light 3.0 classes.
Feels good with that skill-based matchmaking.
I didn't have a problem with it.
It's because we're all average.
20 plus kills every game.
I just think everybody needs to calm down when it comes to anything that revolves around matchmaking.
That's fair.
Get over it.
Yeah. The only other thing, new thing I did this week was Claire and I watched. Claire's my 6-year-old daughter.
You have a daughter?
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe you've not met her. We watched the new Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation special, which is kind of in the same vein as the holiday special, the Lego Star Wars holiday special, and it kind of follows the group post episode 9. Of course, everyone's there, so Han is still there, and maybe spoilers for people who haven't watched Star Wars. The Emperor is still there. He's back again.
Somehow he's returned.
They actually make that joke. But yeah, it has a nice little lesson, and it's cute for kids. Nice. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it if you're an adult wanting to watch something that's Star Wars. If you're gonna do that, if you want to watch something that's I need some Star Wars, but I'm not feeling like movies, go watch Visions again, or for the first time. I watched that again this week, and Star Wars Visions is fantastic.
Or Clone Wars.
Yeah, but that's 13 hours of someone's life.
So
for a season?
Clone Wars has 5 seasons.
It's more than 13 hours worth of watching, though.
Yeah.
I think one season is 13 hours.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Fair
longer.
enough.
It's 7 seasons, by the way.
It was a made-up number.
I know that, because I'm on season 2 of Clone Wars.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Is that all you did?
I really didn't do that much. Yeah, grind a lot of Destiny.
I played a little bit of Destiny with you guys.
I'm so glad everybody's playing Destiny right now.
I watched some more Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were watching that.
Yeah. About 5 episodes deep right now.
Let's go.
And then I talked a while back about Madden 23. Very quickly, I wanted to come back to that. I finished my first season, so I've played through the new features that they've added for the off season.
Yeah.
Which is the new free agency update. I really like it. I think it's really good. They allow you to evaluate your offers so you can actually actively negotiate with players, which is really cool.
Can you take your salary in Bitcoin in the game?
I don't think you can do that yet.
Or the made up cryptocurrency that they add in the game, because they probably don't want to say the word
Madden
Bitcoin.
coin or something. Yeah. I know, but it's really interesting how they've changed kind of each player's hierarchy of interests. So a player will be interested in you because you've won a Super Bowl, or because of where you're located, warm weather states or things like that. So it's really cool. It adds a little bit more diversity to the free agency period. It also allows it to be a little more interactive than it has been. It used to be you make a few offers and then you just advance to the next week because you don't have enough money once your offers go. But now you can in that week evaluate your offers, see where you stand with the player, renegotiate, try to give them more money or less money or whatever. It's really cool. I really liked it. I won a Super Bowl my first year. That was awesome. Started my second season, and it's a little bit harder, but I'm having a good time. I really like Madden 23, despite all of its kind of quirky glitches in the menus. I've seen some good ones in game, too, but I've not run into any of those. Other than that, I watched a lot of college football and released my first 2-episode week shows of the Big 12 Takeover podcast that I do over on YouTube.
Plug.
And then I today watched Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring Extended Edition with my brother.
Who watched it for the first time?
who was watching it for the first time, and I am extremely jealous. I wish I could have that feeling again.
Yeah.
It was really cool to kind of see him. It's cool when you get to share something with someone, especially your younger brother, for the first time, and it's something that means so much to you.
Yep.
So, really, really enjoyed it. That movie is Booyah. I can't wait to watch the 2 hours. And then I watched Rings of Power, of course.
Yep.
The Rings of Power.
The Rings of Power. All right.
I see Easton's yesing The Last Airbender.
Dude.
The show's goated.
Show's great.
It's, yeah.
Way ahead of its time, too.
Very excited and slightly nervous for that live action thing that's coming out from Netflix on it.
Here's the thing. We already got the worst version of it.
Yeah, it can't be worse.
It can't be worse. If it's worse,
Touché.
they deserve an award if it's worse.
Oh my. Okay, well, move on to some trailers. Keep things moving.
Yes.
We ain't got to, linger. I saw 2 trailers this week. One was they're both from Netflix. Because, again, Netflix puts out
A movie a week.
Yeah, exactly. The first was The Imperfects, and
Looks like
Luke and I
garbage.
watched this one, and Luke was just like, "Is this just New Mutants?"
It looks like
This
garbage.
came out a while back, right?
I don't.
Did they
There was a
release
new
another
one.
one?
There may have been a new one. There was a teaser that I remember.
I remember
seeing.
the teaser, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, and it just. Yeah, it just kind of gives off New Mutants vibes.
Imagine like the New Mutants as a CW show, but it's just like looks like a flaming piece of crap. That's all I saw.
Yeah, I remember seeing that trailer and going, "Oh no!" Like specifically.
I highly doubt a season 2 will be greenlit.
Me too.
Yeah, big thumbs down from me
Yeah,
on
thumbs
this
down.
trailer. There was not
Hey, Kate State fan here.
not a lot there to like. The other trailer that I saw was called White Noise. This is a Noah Baumbach film, again for Netflix, starring Adam Driver, and I loved their last collaboration, so
Yeah.
I'm here for this one. Definitely looks intriguing. There's not it's still like it's like a first trailer, so there's not a ton there, but from what I'm seeing, I like it. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up too. I felt like it was a First Contact vibe.
A little bit, yeah.
Like they're all like looking up at the sky, and then, except it's probably a character study on how we would react to it.
Yeah.
Is it a prequel to Marriage Story?
Making that
Now we know
Shared
where
universe.
everything that movie came from. Okay.
exactly.
Aliens actually showed up.
Did you guys have any other trailers?
I have one.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh yeah.
I intentionally shoveled this out of my brain, and now you've brought it back. You've dropped it in the hole that I got it out of.
Man, if I had to pick something like The Imperfects or this, I would have a hard time.
I would go with this because it's less time commitment.
That's true.
It's true.
This is like probably an hour and a half of your time versus
Man.
maybe 10 hours.
It looks so bad.
Yeah.
I
don't-
didn't think it could look worse than like the idea.
I-
You had kind of said that too.
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, oh, this looks so bad. And then like right about the same time my message sent, you were like, I wasn't expecting this to look good, but it looks worse than my expectations. It's like, yeah, dude, it looks horrible.
Like, and apparently Pooh and Piglet eat Eeyore or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Supposedly they've got.
And they're out to murder Christopher Robin. Like, what? Like,
And apparently,
how do you think? Stuff like
Apparently,
this?
they want to make a Peter Pan type thing too.
No, don't ruin it, please.
There is.
I don't know why I said that. I wouldn't watch it.
I was
Or
saying
anything,
we just
but-
need to ignore it. This is what happens when.
Winnie the Poop. Yes, you're correct.
That is accurate. Yes.
No lie. Look what I have written here. I don't have poop, but I have Winnie the P-O-O. Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. Public domain is great and sometimes terrifying. So I honestly can't believe someone convinced someone else to give them money to make this.
How much?
But good for them.
Does it have a Winnie the Pooh?
It honestly gives me like straight to DVD vibes, but someone was like, because it's Winnie the Pooh, like we'll be able to get, we'll be able to put it out in theaters around Halloween or something. In any case, yuck. Some spoiled honey right there.
Yes, indeed.
Tyler, did you have any other
Man,
trailers?
just like the costumes look horrible too. I know it's like super low budget.
Oh yeah,
but
this
it's
movie
just like
was
a
made
Pooh
for
mask.
like $50,000 probably.
Yeah, it looks pretty rough. Yes, Starkey agreed.
Bane.
No, I don't have any other trailers. No, but I have some news.
Well, then let's transition over to news.
So I'll start my news with a not news story.
Ooh, and not news.
The Rick and Morty and God of War crossover
Yeah.
ad is not something I expected, but I thought it was pretty funny.
It was good. I think Rick and Morty inserting themselves into different things, especially in advertising, works really well. It's really on brand for them.
Yeah.
I don't particularly love when they do those kind of things in their show, but I think especially outside of their show, it's really funny. They're little funny little bits.
Yeah. No, I was not expecting to see that, and it made me chuckle.
Yep. Yep.
You got something next?
I do. So this week it was kind of the breaking story over. Well, there was a couple, but the Russo brothers Citadel project over at Amazon has ballooned to a $200 million plus budget. So this is a series,
Right.
and
Are the Russos going to become known for just like overdone
Blowing
budgets?
yeah,
They're the antithesis to Michael Bay.
Yeah.
which is it's so fascinating to me that like I guess that's just what success does at a certain point when everyone's trying to get, I don't know, content from you.
Well, it's already got some spin-offs planned.
I would say between
3 spin-offs.
this and
plus a
Netflix,
show.
like the fact that the Russos have kind of just exited traditional movie making. I mean, I get like this is a series, and these days you don't make those kinds of big series for TV. You make it for a streamer. But dang, I think I tweeted out about this, and I'm just disappointed. I feel like
You're not mad. You're just disappointed. Or are you a little mad too?
Amazon got. The
I'm
money,
just
man.
I'm just frustrated. It just seems like a lack of self-control or restraint when it comes to what these companies are willing to invest for what is obviously not making up for in return. I mean, last week we talked about how bad HBO Max has been for the bottom line of Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix, and it's failing, it's losing subscribers now. Like we're past the peak. We're downhill now. It's not gonna stop. There ain't no rebound in the current climate. So
Going downhill is
it just
my
seems
knees.
irresponsible to throw that
Yeah,
much
trekking
money at
poles.
these projects. In any case, rant over.
Is it?
I apologize.
You done?
Do you want to revisit?
Does someone have a happy story?
Do you want to revisit it later?
I would love to.
Okay. I have kind of a happy story, but probably not really. I don't know. It's actually not really about a movie or a show, but it's something we all use, and that is Twitter is getting an edit button.
That's that's super welcome news though.
But the edit
Wait.
feature is only rolling out to Twitter Blue subscribers.
Of course.
Right now or forever?
It's gonna be forever.
That's dumb.
I
Guess I'll never have an
At
edit
least
button.
it's gonna be for a while.
You know what? You know what's great about the place I'm at right now? I have so few followers that I can just delete it
Yeah.
and retype it, and it's fine.
Same.
That's what I do anyway, so that works for me. I also kind of have a happy story, at least for me, and I think some people who've kind of been away from this series for a bit. Assassin's Creed Mirage leaked.
Yeah.
And then Ubisoft came out and just confirmed it. Yep, it's happening. We're going to show you more on September 10th at our Ubisoft Forward. So that's the second part of this news story. There is an Ubisoft Forward next Saturday, September 10th. Depending on when you're listening to this, it may have already passed. But Assassin's Creed Mirage is, I guess, said to be more back to kind of what the series used to be, which is a very welcome...
Sprinting with right trigger?
Just more of like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood type. One city, this is your thing. It's not like this giant open world thing. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to see what they show at the Forward, because...
Yeah.
And the last thing they said, because they're not saying much yet, is it'll be more focused on stealth, which these recent games have lacked that quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if they said that when Origin came out. If they did, they lied.
Could it be about stealth?
Yeah. No, I don't know which part of it.
If it was smaller or... Because I feel
the whole thing with Origin was that it was an RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Origin, Odyssey, and Valhalla were all RPGs.
Yeah.
But Mirage is said to be more of the classics, Assassin's Creed 2 through Black Flag type game. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's really exciting.
Dead Fist needs an edit button.
Yes, he does. I can agree.
You
with
can
that.
attest to that.
Yes. I only have a couple more.
It was a fairly slow news week.
This is pretty quiet.
How about another sad story?
Okay, hit us with it.
There's no DC fandom this year.
Not
that anybody's really surprised.
I was gonna say
but
this was one of those like.
I think the saddest part about this is Brett can't stand us up this year.
I can't like
Welcome
promise
to-
and get.
You can't be like,
excited.
I'm gonna be there, and then not show up.
Welcome to DC Fandom 2022. Ezra Miller, why don't you come on out? Hey guys, just wanted to say sorry.
That should be their only fandom event. Like, it should be like the fandom banner, everything, and then that's all that happens.
It's
Up next, Amber Heard, come on out.
Oh,
That would be quite hilarious.
Oof.
Now I'm trying to think of like every disgraced DC cast member and having them. Ray Fisher could come out. Him and Walter Hamada could have a celebrity boxing match, since that's like the new craze.
Yeah.
Walk of shame.
There was a game that was pretty popular for a little while, Splitgate.
Yes.
Splitgate developers, and I can't remember the studio name, but they've stopped major development on the game. They'll do small patches moving forward. Their plan is to move their resources to a sequel built in Unreal Engine 5.
This is
a good change.
This is a good change.
This
good.
is smart. This is smart business. Like, I think they've done a good job of supporting that game.
Yes.
And I think they're doing a good job of building their fan base. And I think allocating your resources to update your platform is always a good choice.
Yeah, especially when you become as popular as it is. They're very quick on changes, on updates, on providing things, and that gets harder the bigger your game gets, especially when it's built
in your studio.
as a in a college dorm kind of environment.
Yeah.
Like, this was just made by a couple guys.
They have the ability to be agile because of how small they are.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, you can make decisions like this. And smart to do it amidst Halo completely falling apart.
So that was going to be my next story. We got a little developer update from 343, and
they should stop doing those.
Well, I think they're trying to be more transparent than a criticism.
We're gonna be more transparent. Here's only bad news.
Right.
Here's us going back on a promise.
Season 3 has been delayed until March, and in the interim, from November to then, is going to be kind of a holiday themed, free for everyone battle pass. It kind of feels like a light season in terms of Halo, like,
especially since it's like a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have been real slow on their.
Like a 9
How long has
battle
season
pass.
2 been?
It'll be 6 months by the time it's done.
They're adding another 30 tiers to the battle pass.
Right, yeah, the new one.
And it'll be free.
Yep.
Good thing I've not completed the first one.
Free.
And then sadly, they also announced that they were dropping development of split screen, local co-op split screen. So you'll still be able to do co-op via Xbox Live, but if Luke came over and was like, "Let's play a couch co-op,"
I would definitely do that.
We can't do that.
That was gonna be the first thing I was gonna do.
My daughter would love it. She loves running around, and I set her up in a little custom training map with little AI bot. The AI bots who you just turn off.
Turn them up to Master Chief level.
You just turn them off so they can't do any damage, and she just loves having infinite grapple hook grappling around. That could have been fun, a fun thing to do with her. In the campaign, she could be grappling around. I could just go around and just kind of keep her safe from the bad guys, but nope, can't do that.
And didn't they say that was going to be a priority in every game moving forward or whatever?
Yeah. Yep. Sure was. That was a big selling point on Infinite.
That's a big oof.
It's a big oof.
When do you think Microsoft considers moving it off of 343?
What do they do with? I mean,
they're gonna give it to Bethesda.
They do the thing which they did with the Coalition, where they build a developer, they build a studio around an IP. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you shutter half of the studio, let what's left continue on MCC maybe because they have experience with it, but
it's not pretty.
I think it's more likely, and what would be more useful is seeing some management changes.
Yeah, I think
is my guess.
I think you'll see that, and I think you'll see a lot more Halo veterans being recruited back to try and flip the script a little bit. But I'm starting to think it might be too late. Halo is starting to feel like it's in a pretty dangerous territory.
Halo Infinite 2.
0.0.
Halo infinitely delayed.
Infinite, but Halo Infinite, but it's a little more infinite.
They could just make it Halo Infinity when they feel like it's finally ready.
Or just name it Halo Infinite and then rebrand Halo Infinite as Halo Finite.
We're laughing, but it is
fake laugh, hiding real pain.
It's a big bummer, and
I'm not in very much pain.
I think bummed. What's more likely is they spin off multiplayer as its own thing. It drops Halo. They drop Infinite. It just becomes Halo multiplayer. It still stands free to play. They have a team dedicated to that, and they scrap Infinite and they start moving forward on the next thing.
Halo combat evolved every 6 months.
So that's my guess.
Still evolving.
I have one more news story before my news story relevant to Rings of Power.
Go for it.
The showrunner of House of the Dragon is leaving after season 1 to go work on other Game of Thrones things.
So this is Michael Shablocklick?
Michael Jordan?
No.
I think you're the only person watching it here, so I was definitely relying on you.
For sure.
For this part.
He's really good. He did quite a few of the... as a director. He obviously was not showrunner for the end of Game of Thrones, but he was a director for some of those bigger Game of Thrones episodes. He was very reluctant to do House of the Dragon. It was kind of they dragged him back in.
Did they use a dragon?
I think so.
They think
probably threatened him with it.
I'm pretty sure they used a Brinks truck.
I've seen that used once or twice.
But
back in that mofo up on the driveway. Beep, beep, beep.
I think that it was obviously a good move on Warner Brothers' part to get him back. The show is great, and I'm enjoying Lord of the Rings as well. So I think these both stand in their own respective camps as great fantasy shows. At the same time, it sounds like it was really grueling. It was a pretty quick turnaround for a show of this size, especially during COVID and all that hot mess. I do not think this is a commentary on the quality or the perceived quality of future seasons. It doesn't really worry me. I think they've got their footing and they can start running now with it.
What comes out first? The next season of Game of Thrones or the next season of Halo? Boom, roasted.
Or the next Game of Thrones show might even beat the next season of Halo.
That's true. Yeah. My last news story I've got was that Brendan Gleeson is joining Joker 2.
Okay.
I know you guys don't care about that. I'm not that excited about this, but I thought it was a big enough casting announcement that it was.
Brendan Gleeson's good.
He's good. So.
He's good.
Do we think this movie actually happens?
Yeah. The first one made $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's true. I always forget that. And I love that movie. I like that movie.
I don't forget that, and I thought that movie was completely average.
I enjoyed that movie.
Okay, my last news story, heading into Rings of Power discussion.
I
The Rings of Power launched on Amazon to whopping numbers of 25 million viewers.
Yeah. So, for context...
Dude, we should have made it so you could actually
I
just
know,
look
right?
at it. That'd have been cool.
That is
It's so heavy.
The same number of viewers that the first episode of House of the Dragon had after a week. Rings of Power had in a day.
Oh, did you want it?
Sure.
It's so heavy with the weight.
Which
of
I think
evil.
just speaks to the
I work with a guy who has this wedding band.
the power of that brand of Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty impressive stuff. Do you know where I got that ring? How I told you?
Target.
Scholastic Book Reading Club.
So-
Scholastic Book Fair.
For my... Ooh, I don't remember which birthday
Target.
it was. So whatever birthday...
Did it come with the bookmark? You
No.
just cut it off and put it on a chain?
Walmart.
So for my birthday, I think it was...
Amazon.com.
The Shire.
Y'all...
TheOneRing.net.
Let me go get my sword and...
I'm gonna go get my Harley Quinn inflatable hammer.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah, I remember that thing.
whichever year that Return of the King came out, my birthday is in January, at the very beginning of January, and it came out in December. So for that birthday, my parents took me and about 10 of my friends to the midnight premiere of Return of the King here in Wichita. And
And you stole it from a small child.
so they had a couple of these that they were handing out, and this was high school, middle school, I don't know at the time. What?
So
He's playing with his t-shirt because
I
I
have
have a shark.
I have a shark on my shirt. And so I'm trying to level it up with my computer. Shark's gone. Sorry.
A visual gag for our audio listeners interrupting my story.
It's a
Thank you
visual gag
so much.
live on Twitch.
Yes. Come hang out.
My girlfriend at the time asked the theater manager if she could have one to give to me. So, in front of the theater before the movie started, they were and for, Brett Eitzen celebrating his birthday here tonight, woo, everyone clapped and cheered, and then they gave me this. So Return of the King,
that was 30
midnight
years ago.
premiere, 100 years ago.
I dare you to click that link.
No. It's a .gov. It's got to be safe, right?
Wait, there's a MiddleEarth.gov?
I'm not clicking on it. I'll let you do that. Yeah, so I guess that was a very long-winded way to get to Rings of Power.
It would not have been long-winded had I not been interrupted by a shark story.
Jaws was back in theaters this past weekend. I'm just staying with the times.
Okay,
It's a
fair
shark,
enough.
man.
Bum.
Rings of Power came out. What did you guys think?
It did. It came out.
First 2 episodes
Yes.
dropped on the 1st of September.
This is a show that I was extremely nervous for.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so pleasantly surprised with how much it delivered for me. Pretty much on every level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. who was it at the beginning of the show mentioned happy to be back in Middle Earth. That perfectly sums up my feelings.
Yes.
Indeed.
And then the final little note I have is there's not a character I don't like, which I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Like with most fantasy shows, there's characters you're just like, yeah, I don't really care about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just move on from this part of the show. But I didn't feel like that in these 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice.
Yep, agreed. It's a lot of setup. I think I heard maybe the most. There's a lot of trolling and
Review bombing
on the internet, but I think one criticism I heard that I could believe was that it felt pretty slow. It was maybe a little boring, but these first 2 episodes were very much set up, and I mean, it's taking its time. It's a 5-season show. This isn't a hey, we're one and done.
Mm-hmm. They're already working on season 2.
Season 2 is well underway and filming, or if not done. They're filming in England, I think, this time, not New Zealand. There's some drama there.
Tax drama.
Arendelle Star in the chat said I basically squeaked the entire time. Yes.
The amount of goosebumps I got was insane. There's the little intro Galadriel is talking about in the beginning. I was just like, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, I think the cast, like you said, the characters are all good. I think the cast embody those characters really well, especially the ones that are kind of coming back. Obviously, Elrond, Celebrimbor, and Galadriel were all kind of secondary. I mean, in a way, maybe tertiary characters in The Lord of the Rings. We only got to maybe see one kind of aspect of them. But I think
was
these
Celebrimbor
actors,
in The Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
I do not remember him.
He's in the Mordor game too.
He's in. Where is he at?
Isn't he in? Is he in the 2 Towers?
No.
Is he the one who repairs Anduril?
No, isn't he? He's the one with Galadriel.
Oh, in Lothlorien?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I may be mistaken.
I have no idea. I don't even know if they ever say his name in the movie.
I could be wrong. But I will know in a moment because I Googled it, and
Google's good at finding stuff, man.
It is pretty good.
It's better than Siri. Siri just takes you to Google.
Portrayals and adaptations.
He's in Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor.
Maybe not.
He's
Who is
the
that
one
elf?
in the forest.
Who is that elf?
Is he in the Hobbit movies and not?
No, it's not Lee Pace's character.
We're gonna spend some time looking up where he fits.
Oh, Celeborn. My mistake.
Okay.
Boo.
You know what? I'll allow it because those are very similar.
It's almost like fantasy naming conventions.
Right.
Confusing or something.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe he's Celebrimbor's son.
Probably.
Could
And he's
be.
just like, I'm just gonna take a shorter name.
He is in the games though.
Okay, so
Pretty central to the story of the video games.
Yeah. One of the things I love, you kind of talked about goosebumps and stuff. If you know anything about the Silmarillion, which this show
Hand me that.
is not about. This takes place during the Second Age. The show, the Silmarillion, takes place during the First Age. So but the intro of the first episode had so many little things in there that if you knew what you were looking for, it was great.
I think I'm too
So this
stupid.
book is like Golgoroth?
This is like almost like an appendix of information.
Yeah, I mean it really is. It's kind of a.
I'm probably too stupid to read this book.
I guarantee I am.
It's more like a textbook.
Oh my gosh.
But they have some narrative in there.
You're a narrative.
Narrative storytelling in there. What did you guys have a favorite moment? All of it?
Yeah, the moment where I hit play on the first episode.
I guess we're not doing any spoilers, so if it's a spoiler moment, don't say anything.
I think just hitting play on the first episode and it starting and immediately feeling like I was right back where I was all those years ago is just so refreshing.
Yeah.
Without getting in the weeds and talking too much details. But I guess actually, I guess character moments was meeting Arendir, the elf. Isn't that how you say his name? Let me see if I butchered this. Yeah, Arendir.
Arendir.
Yep. He's the elf soldier.
Yeah.
The one with the watch, the
The one
watch
guard
guard.
of the watch.
hanging out in Middle Earth.
Yep. I think just meeting him and kind of anything he did between the two across the two episodes were probably my favorite moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, he's great. I really like his demeanor as a character, as well as I just love that his motivation is really simple.
He likes a girl.
Yeah, he's in love, and
There's
but he's also like not. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's heavy-handed. Like he loves a woman, but he wants to do what's right.
part of
He's just like a very good person.
what Lord of the Rings is as like kind of a high fantasy story is that often characters are really driven by honor and duty, and it's kind of, and Game of Thrones plays on the opposite. It's like people are selfish. People do what they want. And so sometimes, especially in movies, because there's just not a lot of time to explore those deep personal things, high fantasy characters feel very like, I'm a stick in the mud. And I am doing my thing because it's just who I am. And there's not a lot of dimension there. And I'm really excited to see how these characters show that balance of, I have a simple want or a simple need. Gladriel's is pretty bound in honor at this point, but like you said, especially some of these invented characters, they're characters who were not in any texts of Tolkien's beforehand. I think they have a lot of room to really explore what are some of those personal needs and desires that they have and can play with throughout the series.
Speaking of Galadriel, I freaking love her, and I love the actress that is playing her. Mainly because it's like spot on to a young Cate Blanchett.
Yes, dude. Oh my
There's
gosh,
a shot
it's
where they like
crazy.
just show her face right here, and it's like I think they might have gotten Cate Blanchett for that one.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, and going back and watching Fellowship today, I was like, this is so odd. So odd.
Yeah, and I just think she's great.
She nails.
I like her voice too. I find it very soothing.
There's
I like listening to her talk.
there's a part when kind of after her initial little adventure, she's back in the forest with Elrond, and they're having this conversation.
I like Elrond too.
And the way she presents herself, the way she stands, the way she turns, it's so Cate Blanchett. It's so Galadriel.
It's so Galadriel.
but it adds to that illusion.
Mm-hmm.
It adds to that
Royalty type feel.
yeah.
Regal.
Regal. There you go.
The regalness.
Gotcha, babe.
Yeah, I guess secondary moment for me is breaking the rocks in.
Yeah.
Singer Target. I don't remember what it's called.
In Khazad-dûm.
Oh yeah, they went there, and I was like,
Yeah.
something bad's gonna happen here.
Also, super cool to see that like alive.
Yeah, dude, it was so pretty.
It was awesome.
Yeah. I loved that. Because I feel like a traditional, like, I think what Peter Jackson did worked really well for Khazad-dûm and even the
Moria?
Lonely Mountain.
Okay, yeah.
But this felt like here's a dwarven city that's being lived in.
Yeah.
And how they used light in there, and they had,
There's greenery.
water and greenery and life, and it felt really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cool.
And maintain that aesthetic that we know and love.
Yeah, and I think if you've not watched Lord of the Rings recently, like watching, because I watched Rings of Power episode 1, and then I watched Fellowship between that and episode 2, and my enjoyment was enhanced by it a lot after watching Fellowship, especially going back to Khazad-dûm. Like, man, this is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of a perfect parallel, but I'd recommend that experience.
Yeah.
It was cool.
For sure. Real quick, something we haven't really talked about, visuals and music.
So here's something interesting. I think it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The main theme during the opening credits, it's fine, which is what Howard Shore did,
Yeah.
who did all the music in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. But I think Bear McCreary is crushing it.
Absolutely.
That's who did this?
Yeah.
And if you don't know what he's done, he did God of War, the video game soundtrack, the newest one, and he did King of the Monsters.
Yep.
The movie for King of the Monsters, whatever, but that soundtrack
It
slaps. It's so good.
You should check this out. He did some blogs about scoring it.
Ooh.
I feel like that's like right up your alley.
I follow a
Yeah.
few people on music, like orchestra music Twitter, and like they do like deep dives into themes and leitmotifs, and they're eating up this work. And I think it just goes to show like there are like music matters, and if you do it right, it can really have an impact beyond, oh, that sounded cool.
Yeah. And I think it's really impressive that I thought Howard Shore was doing all the music.
Mm.
And then I finished the first episode and his name popped up and I was like, oh wow. Freaking good job, dude. It was spot on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to address Dead Fist in the chat here. He says, call me a bad fan, but I only enjoyed the intro and the dwarfs. The rest I was about. I don't think that makes you a bad fan.
No.
At all. It's okay to have an opinion on something that's not positive.
I think
it's
it would
just how you...
I think
put
it would
that
be
opinion
worse
out
if you
there.
just like lied about liking it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think that this is a little bit like watching The Fellowship of the Ring. Watching the first 20 minutes of Fellowship of the Ring and being like, man, I really enjoyed that intro battle scene, but like then I got to the Hobbit stuff and it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
But like you haven't watched
That's-
the rest of the movie.
that's where we're
and
at,
I can
yeah.
totally understand like, yeah, we're still in setup.
Yeah.
You give it a couple more episodes, just see how it starts flowing. Maybe it will still be kind of meh for you, but
Yeah.
chances are, as we get into the main conflict of this story, it's gonna start getting real crazy.
Plus, like, as going back to the Lord of the Rings comparison, we're getting a lot more. Where, like, if this was Lord of the Rings, we'd be getting backstories for Gimli and Legolas and everybody else that's in the Fellowship.
Yeah.
Whereas they kind of just tell you it real quick in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of just there to fight stuff.
Yep.
But since it's a show, they're expanding a lot more.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
And speaking of it getting to like awesome stuff, one of the big differences, you know, and I talked to Luke about this earlier because I ran into Luke at a coffee shop this morning.
That was
Completely
kind of
unplanned.
I agree.
hilarious.
Then the Shire stuff is the best.
The action is definitely ticked up. Like we don't get a lot of it, but it's a lot more intense in this than it was back in the movies. And that was kind of the expectation. I didn't think I expected it to be as violent. Like when they fight in the cave at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was a pretty...
Yeah, there was
brutal.
blood. There was blood splatter.
Like a jaw was cut in half. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can get behind this. This is cool. I like it.
It's the TV helps because TV ratings you can get a little more with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like TV 14 is like can be R, it's just without the language. And TVMA is definitely worse than R.
Oh,
most of the
yeah.
time.
And if you're on cable television, as long as you start after 8 p.m.
Well, you got to
the
remember,
kitty gloves come off
you
a
know,
little bit.
20 years ago, you know, making a PG-13 movie 20 years ago is different than making a PG-13 movie even today.
Yes.
So,
Say that again to me, that it came out 20 years ago.
20 years ago, Luke.
Oh my gosh.
You're old.
You're old.
I
We're old.
We're
all
old.
I did want to talk a little bit about the Hobbits.
The Harfoots.
The Harfoots. No, I really enjoyed Nori. I think the Hobbits have been... I was talking with
I have one complaint about Nori.
someone this week about how the Hobbits are maybe one of the things that make Tolkien's world so unique from other fantasy things. And the almost pure and idealized nature of them, at least in Lord of the Rings, I thought I always really appreciated. And is something moving back there?
No, I'm just looking at your
Oh,
books.
okay.
There's a ghost.
And I thought this kind of was the Harfoots as kind of a early proto Hobbit, I guess. I'm liking their little culture that we're seeing. The kind of these nomads that have to pick up and just move around, but they're living off the land and they're doing their thing, and they don't really want to be in anyone's business, and that remains true throughout their evolution. But they're always caught up into it because of they can't not help people.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least there's always someone who can't not help someone.
Yeah.
There's always one of them.
I think my only complaint about Nori, right? Nori?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is not a character complaint. This is not an actress complaint. This is more of a production complaint.
Why do you hate it?
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
How dare they? I think they should lighten up a little bit on her makeup for the show. It's very, very evident that her makeup is a little more overdone than other characters. Small bone to pick. It doesn't take anything away from the show, but it is. I do notice it when she's on screen.
That's fair.
Especially in episode 2 with the stranger.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this feels weird.
This is gonna be a bad comparison, but it's a little bit like in The Hobbit when all of a sudden like half of the dwarves were like these young, strapping, attractive.
Yeah, because everybody else is kind of like
no, dwarves are like these like
kind of bigger, burly, husky.
That's
people,
not what they are, but you do it because it's their main characters, and they need to be they need to look good on posters, and I kind of feel that as like a main character, they're maybe making Nori just stand out a little bit.
Yeah, because like you look at
it's a little bit too much, maybe.
I didn't notice. What the heck, Tyler? You hate it.
It's just noticeable, like because the rest of the Harfoots are a little more rugged and dirty because they're nomadic.
Yeah.
Again, has no impact on my enjoyment of the show. It's just something I noticed it once and then I couldn't stop noticing it. I was like, frick. I wish I hadn't noticed that. It's kind of like the pink stain on the IMAX screen here in Wichita. I pointed it out to
One
Luke.
Little spot. Oh,
like
why
10
would
minutes.
you do that?
Well, I thought he had seen it.
You're gonna ruin
10 minutes later, he's like, dude, I hate you. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
You know what? I had forgotten about it.
Well, I'm glad I could remind you. Just don't see anything in IMAX for a couple weeks. You'll forget.
I'm gonna accidentally dump all my popcorn all over your lap.
Just watch a dark
fine.
movie.
I'll eat some
As
of it.
long as the screen's dark, it's not noticeable.
It just can't be super bright.
What's the next Snyder movie that's coming to IMAX? Oh, God.
Nothing. He's making movies for Netflix now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Um,
You mentioned visuals.
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
Me too.
The show is costing $1 billion,
It looks like it.
but that's not per episode.
It's $60 million per episode.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I thought it looked
Movie
really
per
good.
episode.
Remember how I talked about ballooning budgets earlier? I'm not gonna complain about this one. And I will eat that cake.
What a
It
hypocrite.
is fine. Throw the shade my way.
But it's just one of the things that feels so like Lord of the Rings to me. Is when you get that sweeping shot over a mountain landscape and there's just people walking up it.
Yes.
So simple.
It's such a simple thing, and I'm sure other movies have done it, but for some reason, if it's like to Lord of the Rings music and there's a elf woman talking to you in the background, it just hits different.
I also loved it, visually, the little transitions they do with the map. Big fan of those. Glad those are around still.
Yeah, it does, and I think it helps ground you where you're at. There was one of them that I was like, ooh, I think I know what they're doing in the future with that.
Wait, with
Based
what?
on a map thing.
Oh, okay.
Where people were and how it's transitioned, how, what they were talking about, where they were going. In any case, I thought it was maybe a nice little hint. So I'm hoping my hypothesis is correct.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
God.
Yeah, 60, sorry. Easton over in the chat, 60 mil per episode is too much.
Now he's got to defend it.
I agree, but I'll allow it.
Yeah, I agree, but I'll allow it.
Lord of the Rings is worth it.
I do hope that it doesn't. I think the trend was already started, but I hope it doesn't. Game of Thrones started the trend. Let's be clear. The big budget streaming shows, Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones kicked that off. I hope it doesn't get too crazy. There's a few companies that I think have handled things well, Apple's one of those that I think has made some visually stunning shows, super high production value. I don't know what their cost per episode on Foundation was, but
$20.
it would. I mean, it would have been news if it was this crazy high.
10 penny for your time.
So, and then obviously Stranger Things as well has kind of gone that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always a give and take with what you can do.
This might be a take. I don't know. I don't mind it with this because they want to put as much as they can into it. You go watch the show on Amazon, you finish it, and what do you see? You see the terminal list pop up.
Yeah.
Go, oh, wow. I really like Lord of the Rings. Let's check out this other Amazon show. And then you just keep going down the list.
Yeah. That's the business mentality behind it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I think you're right, Easton. And at a certain point, like, you probably don't need it to make the quality of show that it is.
Peter Jackson didn't need it. But
because of the...
What's $125 million back then compared to now for those 3 movies? Because, I mean, it's like inflation's a thing.
I don't know. But part of it is studios are less willing to take chances. So they're going to make sure that, they're not going to give this a $30 million seasonal budget. And, when they invested 450 million in acquiring the rights, right? Like it's part of it's to protect your investment. Part of it is also it's a big enough IP that people can, to a certain degree, you negotiate around that, right? Like there's a reason why Knives Out 2 and 3 sold for as high as they did, and it's because
Netflix is bad at business.
Because Knives Out made money, right? Lord of the Rings is going to make money, and so you want to put value into it, and what do we find?
I was looking up the budget for all 3 Lord of the Rings movies combined, and it's about, I don't know, 5 episodes worth of...
About half a season?
Yeah, about half a season.
Half a season? Oh, all right. So, I want to circle back a little bit to what you talked about with visuals. I've been very impressed that everything has looked like it's fit into the Lord of the Rings. The sweeping vistas, the cities. In episode 3, we're going to an ancient human city. I'm very, very excited. So excited to see what they do there. But I felt I just felt that everything fits. Nothing stood out as like, oh, that doesn't belong here. Even their Undying Land stuff felt very grounded in probably what I always imagined, based on what Peter Jackson and that team gave us 20 years ago. JT over in the chat, I wonder if Amazon's license was for 5 seasons or if they will have to renew with Embracer.
That's what we were talking about earlier, Luke.
And if the next seasons will suffer.
The rights for Lord of the Rings stuff is so confusing.
It's very complicated. So I don't. Yeah, I
have no idea.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it was for. I want to. They've made a commitment for 5 seasons. I don't know how that works out with licensing and what they've already. If that was a public commitment or if that was a contractual agreement that they have to make stuff. Generally, though, if you have the rights to make things, you have those rights until you don't make things for a number of years, or a certain cutoff date comes. So they may have done like a 10 years worth of rights for these parts of the stories, and then after that they may have to renew, or it could be like an indefinite until they stop making things for it. I don't know.
I think with any acquisition of anything of this sort, though, if you have a contract for rights, that contract is generally honored for the most part.
Yeah.
When it comes to stuff like this.
Gosh, I hope so.
I mean, you kind of see it in the video game world.
Unless you're Warner Bros. Discovery.
Like when Xbox bought
Bethesda.
They
Yeah.
still let Deathloop be a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Yeah.
It's like that contract already existed.
Right.
I think Lord of the Rings being at Amazon, that contract exists. I think Embracer would be smart to let that be because at worst they're going to get a percentage share.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got money.
We got paid because a company with way more money than us took care of something we now own. Dang it. This cost us nothing.
Yeah.
Fellowship of the Ring costs $93, which you looked up.
Yep.
And that's $155 in today's dollars,
Yep.
which is only slightly less than $1 million a minute. That's kind of crazy. About where the new shows are at.
I'm glad someone who does
Arendelle
math,
Star, you're the man.
Thank you for doing the math for
who
us.
does math good did it for me because I am a picture person.
That's kind of awesome.
I could have done the math because I am an accountant. I do Excel math quite a bit.
Anything,
But I didn't want to.
anything before I had a couple questions I wanted to ask you guys.
Let's go
as
into
they
it.
pertain to the show.
If there's anyone in the chat with questions or things you want to talk about that we haven't yet, shoot them at us while we're talking about our questions here.
So my first question gets into spoiler territory, so I'll be vague.
Okay.
Who do you think the stranger is?
It's Elsie Bray. Gonna get any Destiny references as I can.
Oh yeah. They're doing a good job at keeping things dropping different hints. Because there's some hints about like when the stranger lands. There's some discussion about like the fire they're around not being hot, and there's a mention earlier about fire not being hot because of certain evil has sucked all of the heat out of the area. So that that leans maybe more Sauron. I think there's also some imagery there. Lord of the Rings is certainly not, while not as on the nose as Narnia in terms of religious imagery.
A little bit of paradise.
We've got we've got some Lucifer being the fallen angel, falling as a star, falling from the sky imagery that could be, collaborated there. At the same time, he does some things with the fireflies that are a little more Gandalf-esque, maybe a wizard.
Who's the wizard that was in the woods?
Radagast.
Yeah.
He does not fit that character at all.
Yeah. I saw he's on somebody's list. I saw that on Twitter.
He's the wizard that got out of the loony bin and was allowed as staff.
I think my top two picks are Sauron and Gandalf.
I think it's at the end of the day. I think it's Gandalf.
See, I lean the other way.
The other way?
At the end of the
yeah,
day,
I don't
think
know.
It's Sauron.
I don't know. That's what I love about what they've given us so far. They could be either.
We're talking about the one that's landed from the sky, GT.
Yes.
Because he's right. There's technically two strangers.
Oh yes. Good point.
Yeah, Sauron and Gandalf, I think, is what everybody's going to. But I don't think it's Gandalf. I think if it is, it's either Sauron or another. What are they called? Mayer. They're what they are.
Yeah,
because they're not wizards. They're like
a wizard,
super special race. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be a new one.
I also thought.
I've also heard an interesting theory.
Maybe Saruman was also
Yeah.
It crossed my mind.
I saw an interesting theory about how they think it's gonna be the person that turns into the Balrog.
Oh.
Ooh.
Because I'm just reading stuff. I'm saying stuff that I saw random people write online, and I don't know if it's true. So I'll take any criticism whatsoever. But they were saying that those, like, the corrupted wizards, kind of like, or whatever that Sauron is, some of them turned into Balrogs, I guess.
Oh.
So
is that true?
Balrogs and wizards are kind of the same. They're at the same hierarchy. They're at the same level.
They're both S tier.
Yeah. Yeah. The Balrogs are the most terrible of the Maiar spirits, who became the servants of Melkor, the Dark Enemy. Sorry, I have my Tolkien dictionary book right here. How convenient!
I like Arendelle Star's backing of your theory.
The wizard that loves the hobbits. That's, I thought it was a nice parallel. Like,
I think
the reason Gandalf is so fond of hobbits is because there was a hobbit that saved him, took care of him.
Would Gandalf be around at this time?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
He's old balls.
Yeah.
Wrinkly balls.
For sure. For sure he would be.
I really enjoy not knowing any of the lore of this. It's really interesting to go into it.
That's pretty cool.
I really don't think any of the random people are Sauron. I'm pretty sure Sauron is just alive out there.
Yeah.
Just kind of hanging out.
I just don't think it's going to be as complicated as people think.
To me, it doesn't make as much sense for like Sauron, who is already on the ground on Middle Earth, to like suddenly fall from the sky.
True. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Which is,
right,
I think
switching
you're doing
my
some
stance.
misdirection.
It's Gandalf.
Some misdirection there.
I'm with you.
All right, sweet.
I'm jumping on
I think
your
it's
caravan.
I think it's a random wizard, and maybe he
You're
learns.
a random wizard.
Thank you. I'd love to be a wizard.
Yo, Wizard Harry.
Luke?
No, my name is Harry.
Oh, okay.
My grandpa's name is Harry. Oh gosh, that'd be awesome.
Carry on, keep going. Sorry.
It's gonna be a different wizard, one we don't know, and maybe he is friends with Gandalf, and he's like, "Yo, these Harfoot Hobbit people are freaking cool, bro."
Yeah.
And that's like where he gets
Could
his
be.
trust.
It's Gandalf's dad. Gandalf Senior.
So you think it's a new
character.
a completely new character, not one of the, or is it one of the unnamed blue wizards?
It's like Billy Bob the Blue or something.
Okay, so one of the blue wizards.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
The other guy, the other stranger. Do you have a question about him?
No, but we can answer it there too.
I think he's the king of the men that is missing. I think he's Aragorn. The Aragorn role. Because they're like,
yes.
our king will return, blah, 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 blah. He ran away.
Yeah, I think he's the...
He has his little sigil on his necklace.
He's not of the Númenórean race, though.
Yeah.
He's an actual, like a current human,
Yeah.
not a high human, or whatever.
I literally saw him.
What are the Dunedain Rangers? Blessed with long life.
Oh, Arendelle Star, which we should acknowledge. Arendelle Star is a Lord of the Rings reference. The Balrog was dug out by the dwarves. The wizards are the last to arrive. All the other Miri are just there. Yeah. But I think, so you're talking timeline things. I will say, I'm not 100% sure how precise Amazon is going to be with the timeline. I think they have the liberty and are willing to probably fudge things a little bit. So, the fact that, technically all the, Gandalf shows up at the beginning of the Third Age or whatever.
How long is an age? Just a random question.
1,000, 2,000 years?
Doesn't Elrond when he's
For me,
fighting
it's
Saruman?
365 days. I know that's not how it works in Fantasyland.
Like in the the intro for Fellowship, he's they're talking that story about when they went to Mordor and fought.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that 3,000 years or something?
Yeah.
He's like,
JT said 3,000 years.
I was there 3,000 years ago.
So,
that sounds about right.
I still think that's where the show's gonna end.
So, where was Gandalf here? So, my dictionary here.
this is true.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
He was sent about the year 1000 of the Third Age. He was chosen as one of the Astari, or wizards, to be sent to Middle-earth, called Gandalf the Grey. So, yeah, in deep canon, I mean, the novel canon, yes, you're right. It's probably too early for him to show up.
But they can change it.
I think they're gonna change it. I don't think they're not that. It's not that they're playing fast and loose, but it's what fits their story. And I don't know. Maybe this is a completely new character. Could be.
Billy Bob the Blue.
Could be.
theories his name isn't Billy Bob the Blue.
Okay.
I'm gonna write a bad review on Rotten Tomatoes and Amazon.
Moving on.
Tyler, what's your next
moving
question?
on from the stranger before people get upset. What's up with the blade?
Oh, the Dark Blade?
Is that what we're
No,
talking about?
I don't know. It's an evil blade.
Yeah.
The Blood Blade.
I'm waiting for Arendelle Star to just tell me what it is.
Interesting. It obviously has some parallels with Aragorn's blade.
Yeah.
The sword that was broken. Or Isildur's.
And the flame of the west, forged from the shards of Nas.
Exactly. I just think there's some interesting parallels there. But it being probably a dark version. I would guess, based on what they've shown us of Sauron already, that it's not Sauron's blade.
Maybe one of his goons' blades.
Could be like a high-ranking lieutenant or it could even be further back, something with Melkor. I don't know what he's got.
I think it's gonna turn old Theo into one of the ring wraiths.
Is he the one that he gets the flaming torch in his face on?
That would be playing a little more fast and loose with lore, since the ring wraiths were traditionally
the kings of
the
men.
9 kings of men who received rings.
Who's his dad?
Don't know.
The elf.
We don't know.
I might want to. Oh, I don't know if you're talking about theories yet.
Yeah, I mean, that symbol is there for sure. It's the symbol of Sauron, right?
Yeah.
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 That's my guess. Whoever that kid's dad is, he's got some claim to some throne somewhere, and he's gonna become a ring wraith. Boom, stamping it.
Billy Bob the
Raise
Blue.
a clone. Going with that. That's Luke's old theory. From
Yeah,
Star
it
Wars.
probably is. I mean,
It's the best theory
a
ever.
Morgoth blade
It is.
in
It's
some regard. JT, I'm just not sure whose it was. Right.
Easton, I'm gonna answer your question in a little bit.
I bet that sounded really strange.
Look at that illustration of Melkor. There.
Okay.
Isn't that lovely?
Last question. Not a lore question.
Okay.
Not a weird question. Who's your favorite character so far?
Galadriel.
It's in between Galadriel and Arondir.
Arondir is my favorite.
I also really like Prince Durin.
Oh,
I find
Durin's
him
great.
very funny.
Yeah,
yes.
He's good.
Yeah.
I like them all, but my favorite is Arondir.
It's hard. I mean, the question could be, who's your least favorite, and I wouldn't know how to answer.
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah,
answer that
that
question.
would be
There's not a
harder.
character I dislike.
That would be harder.
The High King of the Elves,
maybe?
because he sent Galadriel. Why would you?
The one elf who stood up to Galadriel.
Yeah.
that little turd.
Thondir?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Whatever his name was.
No, Galadriel, we're going home. We're cowards.
That's my last question.
No, I think that's a good one. Man, you know what?
Can't wait for water cooler
scene
talk on this one.
or
tomorrow.
section that tomorrow?
At work.
Oh, at work. Yeah, fair enough. The bit that I didn't expect to really even be in the show, but I really loved was Galadriel's at sea bit.
The worm.
The Leviathan worm, whatever it is, and
I hope the worm comes back.
the
I just want to see the whole thing.
again, and that's one of those. It was her. That was her choice, right? Go back to characters and choice. I always come back to characters and choices, and her deciding to not go through slight spoilers for episode 2, to the Undying Lands, to reject that, jump back into the sea, and swim,
Probably a long ways.
very long ways. I think that just speaks to her character. It's kind of like I've already forgotten how you pronounced his name. Arondir, and his decision to
Stay and help.
stay and help, right? Like all the other elves are leaving, and he's like, I want to at least see if this is something that, like, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it is a, he gets turned away right there, and he does walk back, but he's at least making that choice to try something, to see is this relationship something that could work.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Characters and choices make for good stories. The journey of Dead Fist, real quick. The journey of Galadriel letting go of her brother's oath will be an interesting one. Yes.
It's gonna be heartbreaking.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of emotional baggage in there, and I don't know if we're getting it in one season. That may be a multi-season arc.
Yeah, that might be the show's arc.
Yeah,
the
in reality, it could be.
All right. Rings of Power discussion.
You had a response for Easton?
Yes. Easton asks, who's winning the Super Bowl this year? Not media entertainment, but still curious. Football is media entertainment. And I will die on that hill. I think the betting favorite is the Bills right now. I think the pressure gets to the Bills. Oh, I hate my pick so much. Oh.
The Bucks. The Bucks are either gonna win every game or no games because Tom Brady's wife is leaving him.
That's really sad. I actually think it's the Chiefs this year. I think the Chiefs look really good. I think their offense is going to be moving much better now.
As Kansas boys, that's the right answer.
And I think what they've done through the draft defensively is really impressive. I think they're going to be really good. I think I did a pick show on the sports network I'm a part of, and I actually had the Chiefs going 13-4 in the regular season. So
hot take.
Thank you.
Hot, completely. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Take.
Okay.
Unintelligible take. I think Russ Wilson leads the Cowboys.
You don't know what you're talking about.
That would be a twist.
The other horse team, the Broncos, and shoves it in Seattle's face.
Week 1? Oh, Seattle's the worst team in the NFL this year. I'm not just being nice, Easton. I actually don't like the Chiefs. I just think what they've done is pretty undeniable. As long as Mahomes doesn't try to get cute, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be really good.
You think their O-line can protect him this year?
Yeah.
I feel like that's always...
Again, don't get cute. Take what the defense gives you, and you'll win games.
That's fair. Part of it's, they do a decent job protecting him most of the time, but if he gets cute and he hangs on to it too long, that's when he gets he takes unnecessary hits. That's when he gets shaken up and they make mistakes.
Yep, and if they can stay healthy, like if Mahomes doesn't have some weird random little injury that makes no sense, I think he'll be all right. Yeah. My favorite highlight from the Chiefs, though, is watching Mahomes no look and a wide open touchdown into the stands because he was trying to be cool. I hate that crap.
Well, Tyler picked the Chiefs, so I'll pick the Commanders.
Oh, yeah!
Just don't put money on that, please.
Too late. Already did. Sports betting has come to Kansas.
It is. I've already won some monies.
I've already dismissed about 100 of those ads, and they keep feeding me.
I'm so tired of it.
The algorithm doesn't work. I've told you I'm not interested.
The algorithm can suck it.
Easton, I'm game. As long as it's not when the Commanders are playing. I don't like to watch Commanders games with other people. Just being honest.
Tyler gets very intense.
Will you ever let me watch one with you? Actually, I have watched one with him. We went to a Commanders game.
We did!
And I yelled a lot.
Oh, an actual game. Yeah.
Whoa. You're saying my experience with Tyler is somehow less because it was a preseason game?
Yes, it was.
We went to a Monday night game.
Yeah, it was freaking
awesome.
lit.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was great.
Came down to like the bitter end.
It did.
Tyler cried because they lost.
Dude, so I guess to provide color for that conversation, I did not cry.
Yeah, he did.
But Josh Doxson looked like he caught a touchdown almost right in front of us. It was just a little over to the other side of the goalpost. But he dropped it, and like where we were sitting, because we were sitting really close to the field because we're cool like that.
Yeah.
Where he dropped it at, we couldn't see him. So I was like screaming, yelling. I was so fired up. And then like the ref comes over and he's like, no. And I was like, what? I was like so upset, man. It's so fun though.
That was a fun game. It was super loud too.
One day the Commanders will make it to a Super Bowl,
I'll be dead.
and
Yeah.
and you'll have to watch it with other people because there's no way you're gonna watch the Super Bowl by yourself in your basement.
Okay. I've actually asked Dana if ever the Commanders make it to the Super Bowl if I can not go anywhere and just watch it by myself.
Oh man,
I don't want to watch it with anybody because I don't. No,
I-
that will not be a healthy experience for anybody else.
Let's talk to Dana. We'll get a webcam set up without his knowledge, and we'll watch
We'll stream him.
We'll watch him watching the game.
I would look like a degenerate gambler with no money on the game.
You're gonna look like Adam Sandler and the freaking
Uncut Gems.
Probably. I've still not seen that movie.
It's a great movie.
That's what I hear.
That
Yeah,
movie
if it-
almost gave me a heart attack.
I know it. My anxieties.
If the Commanders go to the Super Bowl, I would prefer to watch it alone or like with my brother, because he's a Commanders fan, or like obviously Dana. But
We're not good enough for him, Luke.
it's not that you aren't good enough.
You know what? I've come to accept that already.
I haven't.
That'll never be cool enough to watch a Commanders game with Tyler.
We watched the Commanders.
Oh no, we watched the Redskins game together.
That's right. That's right.
Pre-Commanders.
I will watch Commanders games with people. I just when it comes down to like the playoff push, though, I don't like to. That's it.
I tried
Get
to
a
watch
story.
the Chiefs Super Bowl win by myself, but I had roommates at the time, and they were watching it in the basement, and their feed was ahead of mine, and I kept hearing them scream whenever something happened, so I had to go watch with them.
Oh man. As someone who waited his whole life to watch his team in the Super Bowl, this is Easton talking.
Yes.
Watching it by yourself isn't a bad idea. However, the emotion is so huge, no one else matters. And if you win, everyone hugs you and loves on you. We would. And if they lost, we would still hug on you and love you.
I'll also add, I'm a hockey fan, and when the Capitals won the Stanley Cup in 2018, I cried my eyes out. So there's also that. The waterworks will be very real if the Commanders win a Super Bowl in my lifetime.
It's so interesting for me with sports. I get very anxious. I get high anxiety. And I get angry. But I'm never brought to, like, tears of joy. Or I'm even, like, that evening, I won't go to bed, like, high on cloud 9.
I'll take the next day off.
It's so weird.
I'll be a mess, dude.
I get so upset when when the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl. Like, it's aggravating and it eats me alive. But when they win, it's like, oh, that was awesome. I don't understand why I don't have that high.
Washington won the Super Bowl.
I'm not invested enough, I guess.
After the 91 season in 1992, the year I was born, and they've not been back since. I'm the curse.
You are the curse. Well, they're going to have to be cursed for a while.
Well, they have Dan Snyder as their owner. They'll be cursed until he dies. So that sounds morbid. I don't want him to
Woo,
die.
boy.
Sorry,
That was dark.
sports. Let's
Well, I can't wait to talk about...
Easton, send me that picture, please.
I can't wait to talk about more Lord of the Rings in the coming weeks as we get further into the season, and probably some more football as well as we get into that season. So, thank you all for watching here live on Twitch, Monday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/whatthefanboy. Obviously, you can watch all of these on YouTube as well, or listen to them via your favorite podcast app. Thank you for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.